What's good, everybody? Welcome to Danny D-Lo Biker TV. Today we're talking about maintenance on our Harleys. It's getting warmer outside, everybody. Finally, riding season is pretty much here. But it's time to get those bikes out of winter storage. We're going to pull them out the garage, give them a good once over, and make sure they're ready to go for the year. At least for us real bikers, we like to work on our own bikes. We like to make sure that they're safe and sound and ready to hit the road. Which I gotta mention this. In one of my last videos I mentioned, in my eyes, you're not a real biker unless you work on your own motorcycle. And man, I got a lot of you butt hurt. And I gotta tell you, I am sincerely laughing my ass off at you. Plain and simple, you're not a real biker if you don't work on your bike. I know, you yuppies, you guys go and buy your brand new CVO and you know, you go out riding with your bros and you do whatever. And then when something happens, you take it to Harley. They maintain it every 20,000 miles, you know, which you never really get done because you never put 20,000 miles on your bikes. For us real bikers, we like to work on our bikes. So here's some tips and tricks on how to make sure that your bike is good to go for the summer and to ride in peace. Right after this. What's good, everybody? Welcome back to Danny D-Lo Biker TV. First and foremost, let me just say thank you to all of y'all that have been giving me positive feedback lately. The positive comments have been off the hooks. I appreciate them very much. They make me feel good inside, and the donations that you guys have been giving me have been really cool too, man. As always, I'll mention you can hit my Cash App above, $ Danny D-Lo. For a $25 donation or more, I will always give you a personal shout out. But don't get it twisted. Any donation of any kind is always much appreciated to me. I appreciate y'all very much, man. And if you don't want to donate to the channel, you can always hit the link below of every one of my videos. You can hit my merch store up. You can cop yourself a t-shirt, a hoodie, a sticker, a mug, all different colors, every club color out there and then some. So I got something for everybody. You can always hit that merch store up and order yourself some merch, and that donates to my channel as well. So let's talk about what should we do to get our bikes ready for the summer. Now, me personally, I suggest you always detail your motorcycle before you go out riding. The reason being is you're going to be hands-on with your motorcycle. And that's the best way to do it. As you're detailing, you might find a bolt loose. You might find your pipes a little loose. You might find a clamp that's broke. You might find your starter about ready to fall off. You can find a lot of things by detailing your bike and just giving a good once over. All right, check your handlebars. Make sure that they're not too loose. Sometimes you got to tighten them down. Sometimes you need new bushings. Check your wheel bearings. One of the biggest things I'll suggest is get yourself a motorcycle lift or a jack. Me personally, I have a motorcycle lift because I work on bikes all year round. Whether it's for a brother of mine, a friend of mine, word of mouth, or a customer, I got bikes on my lift all the time. And don't get it twisted, I have a Harbor Freight lift that I've had for about 15 years now. And let me tell y'all something, man. I've had $100,000 baggers and choppers all the way down to a cheap little Sportster, and this lift has never let me down yet, and it gets used pretty much daily. So don't get it twisted on the price. Don't give me this, oh, it's Harbor Freight crap. You know what? You obviously don't know nothing about it. Or get yourself a little scissors jack, a little motorcycle jack that you can wheel up underneath the bike. You always want to get the bike off the ground so that you can spin the tires, check your tires, make sure there's no screws in them, nails in them, make sure there's no wears on them. You might just need a new tire. Make sure they're not chopped up in the front or whatever. You want to do these things. What I like to do first is I go to my bike, I take my air cleaner off. For those of us that run open air cleaners or K&N air cleaners, you got to clean them. At least once a month you want to clean them. Alright, so I take my air cleaner off and I begin that process right away, because it's going to take about a day for it to fully be ready to be put back on the bike and be used. You take your K&N filter, you take it off, you take your K&N solution, the spray solution from K&N, you spray that in real good, let it soak real good, and then you take a hose it down real good. You don't want to pressure wash or nothing like that. You can run it underneath the faucet, that way there you can see all the gunk and grime come out. I like to repeat this process twice. They may not suggest it, but I personally like to do that. After I get done doing that, let it dry for a full day in the sun. Make sure it's nice and dry. And then you want to put the K&N oil on it. Spray it on. Don't spray it too thick. Just cover the filter real good. Let that dry for at least 5 to 6 hours in the sun, so that way there it's ready to be put back on and you can use it and you got no worries. Your bike's gonna love it. Make sure you do a tune-up. Put some new wires on your bike, put new spark plugs on it, do a full 3-hole oil change on it, your tranny fluid, your primary fluid, your oil. Even if you don't think it needs it, well, you know what, I only put like 500 miles on it before I put it away. It sat for like 4 or 5 months, 6 months, who knows, even longer. Put fresh oil in it. Your bike deserves it. It's just one less thing you got to worry about. Make sure you check your battery. If you don't have a battery checker, take your battery out, take it to your local automotive store. They'll check it for you, tell you if it's good or bad or whatever. Put it back in the bike. Make sure that's ready to go. Keep that battery tender on there over the winter. That's what I like to do anyway. Check all these things out. Doing this ensures you that while you're riding, you don't have to worry about nothing happening. There's nothing worse than being on your bike, you're out riding, and you get about 400 or 500 miles away with your boys, and now you the dumbass that's on the side of the road broke down over something so simple that you probably could have caught at home had you taken the time to even give it a good look over. So check all these things out. Check your belt. Make sure that's all good. Check your brakes. Check all of these things that you can without having to take it to a shop. The last thing a biker wants to do is take his bike to a shop and spend all that ridiculous amount of money for some half-ass mechanic to hopefully fix your bike at a Harley dealer or wherever. That's just how I think. I don't like people touching my bike because I'm a biker. Those of us that run air ride on your bike, I run air ride on my bike, that some of you may have seen already. What I like to do is when I pull it out, man, pick it up and put it down 4 or 5 times. You know, just make sure your connections are all good on your wiring. Make sure nothing's corroded. Make sure your air tank ain't got no crack in it. If you got fast up like I do, you know, just put it up and down a couple of times, man. Make sure that everything's working right. You know, push the old air out, put some new air in, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Just make sure that your lines don't have no leaks in them or anything like that, your air lines. Those of us that run sound systems like I do, of course, you know, check your sounds out, man. Make sure your wiring's good. You know, just little stuff. Like if you got stuff in the saddlebags like I do, I got 2 8-inch subs in my bags. You know, check the wiring, make sure those ain't corroded or anything, or any animals hasn't chewed through them. Make sure your amp is working right. Always carry some extra fuses on you for the bike and for your amp, just in case you're out on the road, something goes out. It's a simple fix. Boom, you got fuses. You don't have to worry about going to look and buy any. These are all simple tricks and things to do to ensure that your bike may not, hopefully, God willing, doesn't break down while you're out on the road. There's nothing worse than while you're riding with your boys and one of your homies breaks down on the side of the road. Now you're all looking like a bunch of asshats because this fool couldn't check his battery, couldn't check his battery connection, couldn't check his tires, or even worse, God forbid, even worse, one of your brothers go down because he didn't check his rear tire. You know, a lot of us run longer rear ends, you know, stretch rear ends. Out of sight, out of mind, man. You don't see the back tires, so you really don't even pay attention sometimes. Next thing you know, you got a completely bald rear tire on the back of your bike, and you're taking a ride or a slide into a tree for something that you could have looked at and found and replaced it with a new tire and been all good had you just taken the time to put your bike on your lift, on a jack, whatever you can, Give the bike a good once over, give it a good look over, make sure everything's all good on it. That way there you're safe, you're sound, you're ready to go for the new riding year, and hopefully, God willing, your bike don't break down. So this was another Tech Talk with D-Lo. I hope you enjoyed the show. As always, you already know the drill. I'm gonna give it to y'all. Keep it real and keep it 100. That's how you do it, Hollywood. Peace.